So what do you do when a player says, I want you to accept that transfer offer from Arsenal, and you say no, and then they say, well, fine, I'll run down my contract. What you do is you then tell them, oh, you can rot in the reserves, and then he goes in a huff with you, but you still actually play him in one of your most important games of the season so far. Yes, hello, welcome on into the Name Sports YouTube channel here for the Killie boys on Football Manager 21. If you're new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more Football Manager content. Yes, I was talking about Stelios Macrionitis. He went in a huff that I didn't accept an offer, and now it looks like he wants to leave on a free. I'll see if I can convince him otherwise. But it looks like we might lose him at the end of the year, which would be very, very disappointing. My other considerations, I might try and sell him to a team who aren't that good. There's a lot of Spanish second division teams looking for him. And then try and buy him back off them for a reduced rate. Because if it goes to someone like Arsenal, who have been snooping around, I'm not going to get him very cheap. But, you know, he might be fairly cheap if it goes to someone else. Maybe. That's my guess. I'll be disappointed if we don't keep a hold of him. But I'm sure we could replace him. Someone like Burton could easily fill in to begin with. But what was really annoying, let's see if it was worth him like £10 million, I'd happily sell him. But they were only offering a couple of million, and this player's worth a lot more than £2 or £3 million, especially with the potential he's got. So that's why I didn't accept the offers, and that's why he went in a huff. But we're still going to use him, certainly for this season, unless my plan works, and I might try and sell him off to try and get him cheap to come back. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but yeah, Macrionitis is in a bit of a huff. But he's still going to play in today's games against Hertha Berlin. Yes, you can see the squad right in front of you there. Robbie Much has returned from his injury, so he gets the game in goal. Nothing against Trott. He played fairly well in goal for us, but happy to have Much back. Hamilton and Spence still at centre back. Logan going to start at right back for us. Says he can play for 60 minutes, so Egan Riley will probably come on. Yes, he's fit as well now, so he's coming on to the bench. He could have played if I wanted, but I'm going to give Logan the start. Hardly still playing left back because Kokavas isn't quite there yet. We might get Kokavas in the next game. Macrionitis and Kastrup in the middle, Tate in front, Richards on the right, Bolly on the left, and Graham up front. I'm going to try. Bolly played really, really well on the right hand side. You can see his average rating so far this season is 8.08. I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever seen an average rating above 8, to be honest. He played really well on the right, so with Order Richards coming back to take his place on the right hand side, move Bolly on the left and see how he does on the left hand side. We do still have Larice and Burke on the bench, who can come and play on that left hand side if Bolly doesn't perform as well, because they've both been playing alright as well. It's unusual for me to have as many high average ratings in this team, so hopefully they can keep it up. Going back to the one up front, because I wasn't hugely impressed with the two up front when we tried it. So here we go. The game kicks off. We're at home to Hertha to begin with here, and they're playing a very, very defensive formation. Look at that. 5 at the back, a defensive midfielder and 2 central midfielders with 2 up front. So I'm imagining they'll be having a lot of set pieces as their main attempts for goals, as I said, because unless their wing backs play very far forward, I don't imagine they're going to be doing much going forward. But looking at the statistics, you can see they've had more of the shots in this game. The ball was played for by us there, and it was fairly poor, and it's come forward to Pino, and we just about defend that somehow, and the ball is cleared away. Our one striker might struggle up against those 3 centre backs and defensive midfielder, but I was hoping that would mean that we could take advantage on the wings, because we'll have 2 wingers and 2 fullbacks obviously up against their 1 wing back. They've got a throw just at the end of the first half. They've thrown it forward here to Svozlai. I'm not going to try and pronounce that any better than that. Kuna here, down the left-hand side. What's he going to do? Cut and field the ball into Pino, and the ball's cleared away just about as far as Stark there. And that's been a fairly boring first half. Lots of chances according to the statistics, but not a lot according to me getting to look at them, which is very annoying indeed. We'll start the second half and see if there are some highlights to speak of here. Indeed, there's one right away. As soon as I say that, Bolly gets the ball out to Hardley and comes back to Kastrup and don't lose it, and he does. The ball's played away, and Kuna in the middle here is 3-on-3 here. Pino with the ball down the right-hand side for them, and he shoots wide, thankfully. And that's still 0-0. And this has been pretty poor from us so far. I'm going to bring off Rodell Richards, move Bolly over to the right-hand side and play Burke. I think is going to have a game on the left-hand side. Alan Graham's not been great, so on comes Ross Forrest. He can get the game up front for the next 20 minutes and see what happens here. Now, not a lot of shots. We've had a lot of the ball, but you see our expected goals of 0.09. Cammy Logan was only meant to play an hour. He's played 80 minutes, so we'll bring on CJ Egan Riley for him. But before that, oh no, that's just happened, I think, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know who's on the park for us at the moment. But they have a chance here. Do Herta. Kuna gets challenged by Hamilton. It goes out for a corner kick. Don't tell me this corner's going to happen as we make the change. Thankfully, we don't get to see it. So it's not that cuss of making a change at a defensive corner and conceding a goal. We've only had 2 shots in the whole game. That's very disappointing indeed. And as this time ticks down, we're going to have a 0-0 draw at home to Herta here. I don't know if I should be happy or not. I said before the game that we were massive underdogs and we didn't get beaten. So I suppose we can take away a positive from that, the fact that it was 0-0. But it does mean that we're going to have to go and win the game in Berlin. And I'll give you the update of this Dundee game in the Betfred Cup second round as well when we get to the end of that game on our way to that second leg. Disappointing 0-0. I say disappointing. I don't know if it's disappointing. I don't know where we rank in relation to Herta, but a 0-0 nonetheless. Let's hope for some more goals against Dundee and then get that win against Herta so we're in the Euro Cup 2, whatever it is, group stage. Well, this game's been fairly boring as well. A 1-0 victory with Darren Burke's going to go in the 18th minute of the game. I'll just quickly show you why not, if it lets me show you. Here we go. It came from a corner. Kokavas coming back across the pitch, found Spence, back to Kokavas, and Burke slotted that in at the front post. We totally dominated the game, but we saw basically no highlights. Hopefully, we'll see some more highlights in this second leg against Herta. Let's get to it. Right, so here is your team for the second leg against Herta. We're going to go with Much in goal, Hamilton and Spence at the back, Egan Riley on the right side and Kokavas on the left side because Hardley has got an injury and Logan's returning back from fitness. Kokavas isn't really fully fit, but probably Jordan Brown will come on at half time for him, or maybe we'll move Jens Kastrup back. To be honest, I don't know. Injuries, fitness, it's a struggle. In midfield, because of fitness, I'm going to put Makaronitis on the bench, which means that Burton gets to play alongside Kastrup. In front of them, we'll play Dylan Tate again. Richards on the right, and Bolly gets a game on the left, and we're going to stick with Alan Graham up front, even though his performances have not been good. To be honest, none of the strikers have had good performances. I might have to change them from advanced forward to something else. We'll maybe see how we do in this game. I don't want to change it too much in this game. Just looking at how we're playing, maybe it'll be better for them to come to the edge of the box to try and get some stuff as opposed to going in behind. Maybe it'll be better if they act as a poacher and just stay up there and do nothing else. I don't know, to be honest, but we'll need to see something different from them. Let's get into this game. And the teams will walk out. Clearly the tunnel's in the corner here in Berlin. And the game begins. Remember, they're playing this very strange formation with a lot of defensive players, but somehow they attack quite well, which I've not quite worked out yet. But we do have a throw in here. Kokavas throws it, it's intercepted. This could be a horrendous start. Pino, we're giving away a penalty. Yep, fantastic. Oh, amazing. Brilliant. Oh, what a start. Here we go. Can we keep out the penalty? The man who's yellow carded for them takes it. I can't pronounce his name, and he scores the goal. And 10 minutes in, and we're 1-0 down already. What a great start. Just as I said, let's keep it tight. Since to keep it the wrong way. It's a good penalty in the end. 1-0 Herta. We've got to throw in again. Maybe let's throw it to one of our own players, and we again don't. Maybe we need to work on that in training, throwing it to the players wearing the same coloured shirt as you. But it comes out to Egan Riley on the right hand side. What's he going to do? He's going to go down the line, and instead he gets challenged, and the ball's played right over the top to Kuna here, and that's 2, and that's probably game by. You'd say the way we've been playing recently, we're not going to be scoring that number of goals against a team like Herta, and that's 2-0 after half an hour. Just poor, really, all in all. Egan Riley just passes it straight to them. Route 1 football. Hamilton does not track back. Spence doesn't get across in time, and Much doesn't even try and save it. This is poor. And a throw in for Hertha just at the end of the first half here. This could be the icing on the cake for them if they get a third one. Gusto on the right hand side for them, plays it infield, and Pino scores 3-0. Fantastic, and that's us out of Europe. Great progression from Kilmarnock so far in these few seasons. Qualify for the Champions League last year, get to the Europa League knockout stages, and this year he can't even get into the Europa League too. Fantastic. And that's us reached half time. We're going to have to do something drastically different, so let's have a look to see what we could do. I'm pleased with how things are going. That was wrong. I did not want to say that. Disappointed, disappointed, disappointed. And oh, that was one of the worst team talks there's ever been in existence, ever. Let's see what we can do. Let's put 2 up front. Why not? We can't do anything worse than what's currently happening. We'll play a poacher and we'll play a pressing forward on attack. Sure, why not? And let's see what goes on here. There's no point in ruining Kokavas's fitness anymore. He can come off as well. And we'll start this second half and see what's going on. Let's move to an attacking position and let's shout at them to demand more. And we'll push them on and see what happens here. We do have a throw in. Egan Riley throws it to the correct team this time, but Malcolm gives it away. Kastrup finds Burton, the 2 central midfielders passing between them. Finds Burton again, and maybe if you go forwards, we've got a chance of scoring a goal. Burton over to Kastrup, and let's go forwards with the ball, perhaps, will we? Malcolm and Richards, and the ball over the top to Bolly, and Bolly, oh, what a save from the goalkeeper. That was a great chance there for Bolly, a nice save though. Can we score from this corner? Kept the ball swung in. It's headed away as far as Bolly again. And the balls went out, and that's gone for a goal kick. And Richards has got the ball here, and he's coming forward. It's a 3-on-3 situation. What's going to happen? He hits it, and it's wide. That's kind of wasted for Rodell Richards, you'd like to say, wouldn't you? Oh, goodness me. We've had more chances in the second half, and they've not had one yet. But yeah, not as we were hoping. Unfortunately, being knocked out here in Europe. 5 minutes ago, it's not like we're going to score 3 goals. Burton with the ball into Egan Riley. Finds Jens Kastrup, who gets challenged, and here they break away, and I bet you this is a 4th goal. Yeah, not even going to try the tackle, Mark Spence, and that's 4-0. This is some of the worst football I have seen in terms of defending in Football Manager this year, especially from us, and it's not acceptable. We're going to have a complete shuffle at the back when all these players are back, and I don't, to be honest, think Hamilton nor Spence will be starting. And after that utterly, ridiculously poor performance, we lose the game 4-0. I'm not going to even talk to the press. That was rubbish. I'm trying to keep this channel as family friendly as possible, so I won't be using any sweary words like I want to. But goodness me, that was absolutely horrendous. But it does mean we don't have to worry about European football this year, as we are not in anything at all. Look at that. The first year for a long time there's been no European football at Rugby Park. Right, I'd like to advance this on as much as we can, but it'd be interesting to see how we do up against Queen's Park when they're up here, having had a lot of promotions that they have in the last few years. So let's come back for the Queen's Park and Celtic game, because that's 2 teams who you'd imagine be at opposite ends of the table, and see how we do there. If you have enjoyed this episode, even though it was very disappointing, no goals scored at all actually. You got to, I showed you the Dundee highlight, but against Hertha we scored 0 goals in the 2 games. Even though we haven't scored, please do leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're looking forward to the next one, where hopefully we'll score some goals, then do leave that like, as I say. And until the next one, see you then.